What's up, and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. This is episode number 64, and I'm your host, Max at WeVideo. And as always, we've got another great episode lined up for you guys today. Before we get started, shout out to everyone who's watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you're just joining us, say hi to the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and let's mix things up today. If you're a repeat viewer, let us know if there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover, or if you have a favorite feature in WeVideo, maybe something you want us to revisit or touch on today. Before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as well as hit that bell in the top right corner so you get notifications anytime we release a new video. We also have our Tuesday Tips and Tricks landing page, which is on the far end of our blog. And you can go there to visit any of our previous episodes, as well as subscribe for an email notification every Thursday to hear what upcoming episode is coming out the following Tuesday. All right. And last but not least, we have our WeVideo Creator Community Summit, which is this summer, starting July 20th through the 22nd. You can sign up for that below. This is completely free to attend. This was a big hit last year, and it's going to be even bigger this year. All right, so today we're going to be going over filters and overlays and how you can adjust kind of the color and settings of your video to really change and fit the theme of your topic. And with that, we're going to bring on our co-host, Tyler Wall, to show us how to do it.
What's up, Max? Thanks for that intro. And what is up, chat? Happy Tuesday, you guys. We've got a good episode for you. So as Max said, we're going to be going over some overlays. Show you guys how to find some good overlays in the stock media library, and then show you, how to adjust those and make these videos kind of have a nice tone to them. So let's just hop right into it and get going.
Yeah, we do have a quick question from Harmonica. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Kind of like harmonica. Thanks for joining us. She just asked if we're still accepting speakers for the platforms for the Creator Community Summit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. It's a good question. We can definitely get in touch with our education team and find out. But if we aren't, I just recommend you join and see some of the workshops and speakers, because it will be a good one.
Yeah.
Last year was great.
Yeah. Cool. A couple other shout outs. Shout out to John Legfield, repeat viewer. All right, let's get down into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. All right. So you can see probably in my preview window here, we've got a bunch of green screen footage for you guys today. So we'll briefly go over chroma keying again if you aren't familiar with it. Something we've gone over in the past, but we'll quickly preview how to do that, just because this is part of our effect today. Got a background track, and then I've got my overlays as well. So we will go over overlays at the end, and show you just how to make some cool film grain, light leaks, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so we just have like 4 different clips we quickly filmed here. They're all just in front of the green screen, and we're gonna use a green screen and overlays to help set the theme for each one.
Right, so you can see we got like a Western going on, some beach shots, a little bit of a scary, maybe horror theme, and then lastly, just a clip to play around with some of the other filters we'll look at. So let's just dive right into this. The way we're going to remove this green screen is simply double click into our clip editor, and then we're going to go to the color keying tab. This tab right here kind of looks like a guy on a green screen. Next, all you have to do is select this dropper, choose the background that you want to remove. In this case, it's our green. And then you can see right away, it's already, I'm going to save the changes, revealing the track underneath. So in this case, it is our beach shot. If I was to move this beach shot, you can see it's revealing that overlay. So just keep in mind layering. This is important for our effect today. So we can see Max is already on the beach. It's great. It's what we want. Real quick, we can adjust the color keying mask. If you click on the mask, you can see what is being revealed and what is being cut out. So the white is representing what is still being shown, and the black is our transparency. So we really want a solid white and then a nice black, and not have, you know, some of these shadows that are being cast on our green screen background. So we can adjust the fringe to make that a little bit better. And then just double check when you're doing that, your actual image. So try and get rid of some of that green. We might not be perfect because there is some spill.
That beach ball had a nice green strip in it, which is actually kind of a cool effect there.
Yeah, so if you do have you know, green clothes on, that's a perfect example of how green screen can go wrong. In this case, that beach ball has a little transparency to it, but that's all right. We're going to apply some overlays, so that might distract us from some of that anyways. Cool. So we got Max. He's on vacation. This is typically Max's background, actually, on Tuesday Tips. Well, maybe not exactly, but close to it.
Very close, very close.
All right, so let's get our overlays on top of this. We want a nice summer overlay, something warm, kind of bring this really home. So I'm going to take my overlays track. I've already got some pre-selected, but we'll show you how to find these as well in our stock media library. I want to move this to the top of my tracks. So a good way to do this is hit this 3 dots right next to your track name, and then you'll see a move up. There'll be a move down, obviously, if you have the track on the top. So I'm going to click move up. It's gone one layer up, and then let's move it up one more. Great. So now we have our overlay on top, and you can see this kind of film. What do we have? We can look at the name of it. This is a 16 millimeter film scan. So maybe not the best for our beach shot. Let's go ahead and search for one that might be better. And I'll show you how we're applying these overlays. It's really just dropping the transparency. You can see that on this track here. Let's just go through the process for this first one. Zoom in a bit. All right, in my stock media library, I'm going to search for overlay. And this is a tip. We found that overlay actually generates quite a few good options for this. As we find the ones we like, we can refine this a bit. You know, if we wanted old film, we could search old film overlay, for example, or maybe a light leak overlay. But you can go ahead and start previewing these. You can, as you can see, there's a huge amount of clips that we can choose from. So some nice light leaks.
Yeah, I kind of like that. This one right here, kind of a tropical vibe. We did have a question come in, Tyler, before we kind of get too far beyond the green screen stuff.
Yeah.
Ramonica asked, what are some lighting tips to make sure I'm well lit? So this is especially important for green screen stuff because you want to have a nice even green in the background with very little shadows.
Yeah, that's a good question. So for green screen, the main thing you want to light is the actual background, right? So we want a nice even light going across the green screen, the actual screen, and this will prevent shadows from being on the screen itself, which will cause some problems in your keying. You can obviously get more advanced and light your subject, maybe even have a backlight on the subject. But the main thing is going to be lighting that screen nice and even.
Yeah, so like here in the studio, we have a couple lights. We have two that are directly kind of coming in at angles, pointing directly at the green behind me. and then we have another that's pointed directly on me. Sometimes we'll do an additional light behind me that's pointing on me, and that kind of reduces the shadow as well. Depending on your budget, you might not have that kind of lighting setup. So another alternative is to just make sure the room is really well lit. Make sure that you're facing a window rather than having the window backlit behind you, because this will put you in the shadow.
Yep.
And then, yeah, just kind of a basic ring light often works. Straightforward.
It's a good one.
Yep.
All right. So hopping back into our overlays, I've selected this nice warm light leak film burn kind of overlay, and I brought it onto the top track. Now all I'm going to do is hit this open opacity options, and I can bring the opacity down. I'm thinking about 30%. And basically what we want is this to just kind of blend in with our clip. And let's see what this looks like. This should bring us a nice warm kind of tropical overlay. And that's kind of the tone I was going for. We could definitely play around and try and find one that matches perfectly. But you get the general idea here. Let's just keep going down the line, and we will try our Western clip. So same concept. Let's go ahead and key this out. Chroma key. Select the green. And we're already revealing our background. Another tip with chroma key, you can see there's a desk actually. So a good way to get rid of this is hit our crop tab. Let's bring the bottom up and just eliminate that desk. You know, there wouldn't be a desk necessarily in the Old West. And depending on your subject, if he's just staying static, we could actually crop in the sides as well to eliminate, you know, maybe there was a shadow on your green screen over here or over here, and Max wouldn't move to beyond that crop. You could potentially do that. So cropping is a good way to eliminate some maybe mistakes on your green screen. Then we can go into our transform tab. And since we got rid of that desk, we're just going to scale Max up a bit, rearrange him, bring him down to the bottom of that screen. Let's keep this edge. I think he walks in on the clip. Walks out. There we go. So we got rid of that desk. Let's save those changes.
Nice.
All right. So for the Western theme, I think we want to go with one of those old school kind of film filters. Already have one selected. I'm going to bring it over. Let's see what that looks like. Nice. We got some film scratches. So there's a bunch of this old film that you can find. If we actually search old film, I think a lot come up. So you could even go with something more like that, kind of a slideshow.
Yeah, let's also take a look, Tyler, at some of the filter overlay options that are not in the stock media.
Definitely, yeah. So we'll get to that here in a second. As Max mentioned, we can also adjust the color of our clips. Cool, so we got this nice film kind of strip look. Now let's make this more of a sepia tone.
Oh, real quick before we move on, Kim Clint just asked if we could add rain or fog.
Yeah, that's a good one, Kim.
This might actually be something we check out for our next kind of scary clip if you want to just hold off.
Yeah, let's do that on the more of a scary clip. Fog
Okay.
and
rain.
was it? Rain.
Yeah.
Great. All right, so I'm liking this. I do want to add Max kind of looks like he's still in 2021, right? So let's go ahead and hit this effects. So select the green screen clip, hit this effects button, and you'll see a couple options here. So we can actually change it to sepia, black and white. I think there's a couple more too. Dream. We're going to go with sepia. It's kind of the Western look. I could even change this Western shot I have to sepia as well. Really match everything together. And now we're looking like we're in the Old West.
Much better.
Cool. All right, so this is our creepy guy. This is where we could probably apply some rain, some fog, some scary elements.
This is gonna be terrifying.
All right, so we could apply a black and white here as well. Another way
Real
to go
quick,
about doing that. Go ahead,
we just had
Max.
another question. Ramonica asked, I think there's kind of like a slight lag here. She
Okay.
asked, "Where's that film strip?" So do you know what you searched for that, Tyler?
Yeah, so for this one, I just searched old film. You could probably search film overlay. Like we said, overlay, I think it is what we have found to be one of the better keywords for this, just because a lot of these are labeled with overlay, or texture actually is another good one. So that's another tip. But this one was called specifically vintage film strip overlay.
Cool.
All right. So for our creepy guy, we're going to key him out as well. Let's get rid of that desk as well. So we'll crop that out. Adjust the transform. Save those changes. We've already got him in this kind of creepy corridor. I searched for this again, stock media library. A lot of great backgrounds in there to search for as well. And then we wanted to bring in some sort of, I guess, fog. Here's one that I already had. Oops. I think this was like dust particles. But let's try a fog. Let's search for fog.
Yeah, the overlay really kind of helps blend the shot that we took with the background to make it look like it was taken in one place. Oh, that's
Definitely.
nice.
Cool. This fog should work. And this one actually might be a transparent background already. I think it is. Let's see. Oh, nope. So two things we could do with this clip. We could either key out the actual black, or we could just drop the opacity like we did with these other overlays. I think the opacity should be fine. So let's just go ahead and try that. Bring it down to about 30. You can play around with the opacity, obviously, if you want to see more of the film strip or more of the fog. So there is some fog in here now. And that's looking nice and creepy.
Oh yeah, that came out well. Let's just take a look and see what we have for rain. I feel like that one might be a little more difficult, but
I think it's gonna work. Let's see. Some aggressive rain. Let's see if we can find something.
oh, that's actually really cool. Not really for our purposes, but oh, that's nice.
Yeah, let's try that one. I like that one. Oh, sometimes you will get that, depending on how complex your project is and your internet speed. Sometimes it takes a little bit to preview. So just be patient.
All right, so now we got a creepy WeVideo baby in a raining hallway.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it could actually rain in this hallway, but maybe this guy has some sort of powers. I don't know. He's
Yeah.
creating the rain. Yeah, so play around with this. You can definitely find a lot of great stuff. You can see how much it actually shows up just from rain. Again, that overlay keyword I think is really helpful too, because these are
Let's
designed to be overlaid.
let's just quickly show kind of the alternative method, see how that looks by keying out the black rather than just lowering the transparency.
Sure. Yeah, so the other way you could go about doing this, we can actually key out any color that we want, right? It doesn't need to be green necessarily. So just do that same process and then find an area that's as true to black as we can find somewhere in the corner. And let's preview that. So now the rain is just showing what the key's revealing, which is all the little white droplets. I think the bringing the transparency down actually looks a little better.
Yeah, no,
So
I
we're
think
seeing
this
a
is
little bit
pretty.
more of the streakiness.
Yeah, this is
But
something you might apply like both, but
sure,
yeah, I think sometimes it's more suitable than others.
yeah, definitely. Depends on, I think, the overlay and what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another way to go about um, blending these two clips together.
Yeah, we were using kind of this method for our special effects episode, episode 50, and
Mm-hmm.
found that keying was actually pretty helpful if you were using stuff like lightning or fire.
Yeah, fire seemed to be really good for the key. All right, so that is the basics of overlays. Obviously, it just depends on what you're trying to achieve, what kind of look you want. You can see how quickly putting some of these overlays changes, the tone of the clip, and even just with the green screen clip, um, it brings a different perspective to what Max is doing here. So having this old school film kind of makes us feel like, I don't know, this could be a nostalgic video, or having these light leaks makes it feel kind of dreamy. So definitely try these out, see what it does to your video.
Yeah, a couple more things to cover. Tyler, let's just quickly go over the how to change the color effects, the saturation, the hue,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
additional some additional things you could adjust.
Yeah, so another way we can kind of achieve a black and white, or a different color scheme, is by double clicking and then going to our color tab, and then we can adjust the saturation. So I can make max black and white just by doing that. We could, you know we could try and achieve a some of that old film by changing the temperature, really making it nice and warm, the tint, the hue.
Okay, so we're getting a couple questions related to green screen.
Cool.
So first question, or I guess more of a comment. Ramonica said, "What? Sometimes the green removal is not seamless. User error, I'm sure. A little bit of both. On that, it kind of depends. I would play around with the dropper, selecting the green from different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And then John Langfield asked, "When what does the image slash mask do?"
Great questions. Yeah, so like Max said, I think it's not all user error. You definitely want to, you know, do the best practices when you shoot your green screen footage. Be sure you have a seamless backdrop, nicely lit, and you're not casting shadows. And then you want to try and avoid what's called spill suppression. So green actually hitting your subject, and then it kind of creates this green edge around them. The way you can do that is just try and stay as far as away from the green screen as you can. Um, but we can't always be perfect, right? So let's hop in to the green screen right here. The mask question, once again. In the image, we see what we're going to actually key out. When you select the mask, this is just showing us the transparency and then what is still opaque. So if it's kind of this, you see this, this was a shadow. So it's creating this sort of opaque, transparent area. And we don't want that. So when you adjust the defringe, you can see it's slowly getting rid of that. And you just want to play with these sliders and try to adjust to eliminate as much green as you possibly can.
Yeah, so Monica just asked, how big does the backdrop need to be? And I think this kind of goes to our earlier observation with cropping out the desk. Basically, the best green needs to just be right behind you. And then as Ramonica pointed out, she had a wall that was spilling in. You can crop all of that out and you won't see it after you key out the green.
Right.
So I don't know how easy it is to pull this, Tyler, but the very beginning of the pandemic, I was actually shooting these Tuesday Tips episodes from my living room in front of a
let's see if we can
4-foot
that
wide green backdrop that I took home. And we were using the same method of cropping the sides so that it looked like I was in front of a completely tropical background.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one of those clips right now. Here we go.
She just asked as well, is it possible for us to post a picture of our lighting setup? Yeah, we can definitely do that.
It's been a while since I've been in studio, so I kind of forget what our lighting setup looks like as well. We should actually be getting back in studio soon here, guys. So
yeah, we could
keep an eye out for that
episode. Yeah,
Max is there
on lighting. So yeah, this video that Tyler just threw up, basically the setup I had here, this was filmed vertically with just a smartphone, and the key was to make sure that my arms didn't go out of frame. So I didn't move a lot. And I just had the backdrop, which is about 4 to 5 feet wide, right behind me. And then I did this in my living room, which has quite a bit of natural light. And I think we had a ring light on me as well to try and reduce the shadow.
Yep. Yeah, and this obviously was meant to be for a vertical video, but to Max's point, when you do just have, this kind of smaller screen, we can still use that crop to fix, areas that aren't on the actual green screen. So when I key this, you're still going to see that line where the screen cuts off. And then the crop allows us to get rid of that by just simply dragging the top and then selecting the area that we want. Since we know that Max isn't going to be jumping or anything, we can actually bring this all the way down to here and save those changes.
And then we can actually throw this onto a horizontally shot video, and the entire background takes up space.
Right.
So yeah, if you actually go to our Tuesday Tips landing page and go to our I think first 5 or 6 episodes, you'll see what the finished product, the finished video of these actually looks like.
Yeah, that was back when we first went remote, and we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. All right. So a couple more questions, Tyler. Start with this easy one from Kim. She asked, are there drone videos in the stock media? The answer is yes. We just play around with searching drone footage, aerial shots, that sort of thing. Just vary up the keywords.
Yep.
But there's quite a variety of really good, well-shot content. Okay, so this next question was actually asked by a couple people. It's from Gary Schrager. There's 2 questions. Excuse me. All right, first question was, if I delete a video I uploaded for a past project, would that project still work if I return to the project in the future. I would love to get rid of older videos. So obviously, any video that you've exported is good to go, even if you deleted the video that you used to create it. If you deleted the content from your library, then you go back to the project, I
That'll
don't
be
think it'll.
missing. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you delete actual media from an existing project, you will not be able to re-access that media within the project.
it's got to pull it from somewhere. So, yeah. Second question was related to overlays. I was wondering if masks are something that might be added sometime in the future in WeVideo. Masks are definitely something we're aware of, and we would love to bring to WeVideo right now, but it is on the timeline.
Yeah. So, thing to keep in mind, WeVideo is a beginning software for editing. Masks do become very complicated, so it is something that can be on the timeline, but again, just keep that in mind. It does complicate, especially for a browser-based editor.
Yeah. So kind of a recommendations there. Try to do as much as you can with just cropping. But
Yep.
yeah. Lisa says, I do a lot of green screen and a lot of cropping. It works great for finding a multitude of boo-boos. Thanks for joining us, Lisa. Well, cool. So I think we'll probably have to do a lighting setup video in the near future to kind of show basically the different levels that you can get into in terms of how much money you want to invest into your production, whether that's your studio or equipment. That's something we've talked about in the past. So if that's something you'd like to see, let us know. We can go into detail on the different levels of cameras, lighting, mics, etc. In the meantime, if there's any more questions related to today's topic, let us know in the chat. We'll stick around for another minute or so. But thanks again for everyone who joined us. This has been quite the engaging episode.
Yeah, great questions today. Appreciate everyone tuning in. As Max said, if you do have any final questions, fire them off now. Otherwise, that is it for overlays.
Yeah, Kim, it's allergy season here in California. That's what you're hearing. Robotica says, I love your software and I've been using it for years. Just getting into the green screen, it's perfect. I just need some hip hop music.
Okay.
Yeah, so check out the stock library for sure. Actually, let's quickly just show that, Tyler. So there's obviously the music tab that you could go and check out, but you can find additional content by searching in the stock library just for audio.
Right. Yeah, I think you're best off if you have a specific genre like hip hop, searching within the stock media library and then just filtering to audio and filtering to music only. And then you should have quite a bit of options pop up. There is also the audio tab with some kind of pre-selected music, but again, I think if you have a very specific thing in mind that you want, like this hip hop, you're better off searching the stock media.
Cool. Yeah, Lisa said she'd love to see a lighting session. It's a constant struggle of having to do a lot of post-production stuff because you didn't get right when you filmed it. That's obviously what video editors are for, but it does save some time if you can nail it first try. So we'll look to bring that in the near future. Yep, Robotica thought that the pre-selected music was all that was available. Yeah, so go ahead and check out all that stock music. A lot of additional options there. And you can filter by sound effects as well.
Yep.
And then Lisa just said, using last week's transition, she was able to, using last week's episode on transitions, she was able to create a transition tech with a fly swatter. Very
okay.
Cool.
Maybe using the fly swatter, kind of like Max was using his hand to cover the screen. I'm not sure. That could be cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, share
Yeah,
that with us.
yeah, show it. Yeah, post it on the business community. We love to see it. You can tag us. Awesome. Well, great participation. Great participation today, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and happy creating. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.